رسول شهراد هستم. کتاب زمین جدید اکهارت رو با هم میشنویم و من بعد از اون توضیحات خودم رو میدم.
Earth, 114 million years ago, one morning just after sunrise. The first flower ever to appear on the planet opens up to receive the rays of the sun. Prior to this momentous event that heralds an evolutionary transformation in the life of plants, the planet had already been covered in vegetation for millions of years. The first flower probably did not survive for long, and flowers must have remained rare and isolated phenomena, since conditions were most likely not yet favorable for widespread flowering to occur. One day, however, a critical threshold was reached, and suddenly there would have been an explosion of color and scent all over the planet, if a perceiving consciousness had been there to witness it. Much later, those delicate and fragrant beings we call flowers would come to play an essential part in the evolution of consciousness of another species. Humans would increasingly be drawn to and fascinated by them. As the consciousness of human beings developed, flowers were most likely the first thing they came to value, which had no utilitarian purpose for them.
اینجا در واقع اکهارت مثالی میزنه از فرایند فرگشت یا تکامل که در واقع فرایند گل دادن گیاهان بوده. گیاهان میلیون ها سال کره زمین بودن، ولی خب گیاهان گلدار در واقع یک جهشی هستن توی فرایند تکامل گیاهان و چیزی که اکهارت توضیح میده اینه که این گلها در واقع فقط برای بهره برداری نیستن و یک پیام دیگه ای دارن.
That is to say, was not linked in some way to survival. They provided inspiration to countless artists, poets, and mystics. Jesus tells us to contemplate the flowers and learn from them how to live.
در طول تاریخ گلها منشأ الهام بودن برای هنرمندا و پیامبرا و حتی عیسی هم در مورد گلها مطالبی رو گفته.
The Buddha is said to have given a silent sermon once, during which he held up a flower and gazed at it. After a while, one of those present, a monk called Mahakasyapa, began to smile. He is said to have been the only one who had understood the sermon. According to legend, that smile, that is to say realization, was handed down by 28 successive masters and much later became the origin of Zen.
اینجا داستانی از بودا نقل میکنه. بودا توی یکی از اون روزها توی جلسات سخنرانی یه دونه گل رو میگیره دستش و فقط به اون گل نگاه میکنه و هیچ چیز دیگه ای نمیگه. بعد از پایان اون جلسه یک نفر از اون کسایی که اونجا بوده لبخند میزنه و پیام بودا رو درک میکنه و اون پیام توسط 28 نفر بعد از اون به اونها منتقل میشه و منشأ زن که در واقع یکی از راههای معنوی هستش توی شرق آسیا و چین میشه.
Seeing beauty in a flower could awaken humans, however briefly, to the beauty that is an essential part of their own innermost being, their true nature.
در واقع اینجا اکهارت میگه زیبایی که درون یک گل هست میتونه راهنمایی بکنه به اون زیبایی که در کل خلقت وجود داره و اون جوهره زندگی و وجود و میتونه ما رو هدایت بکنه به اون سمت.
The first recognition of beauty was one of the most significant events in the evolution of human consciousness. The feelings of joy and love are intrinsically connected to that recognition.
این درک زیبایی یک مرحله از تکامل انسان هست که باعث بروز حس‌هایی، حس سرور و لذت درونی میشه در ما.
Without fully realizing it, flowers would become for us an expression in form of that which is most high, most sacred, and ultimately formless within ourselves.
در واقع گلها به ما یک نشونه هستند برای ما، برای اون وجود بدون شکلی که درون ما هم هست.
Flowers, more fleeting, more ethereal, and more delicate than the plants out of which they emerged, would become like messengers from another realm, like a bridge between the world of physical forms and the formless.
گلها با اون ظرافت و زیبایی که دارن به عنوان یک پلی کار میکنن که بین فرم و ماده و زیبایی غیر مادی در جهان کار میکنه.
They not only had a scent that was delicate and pleasing to humans, but also brought a fragrance from the realm of spirit. Using the word enlightenment in a wider sense than the conventionally accepted one, we could look upon flowers as the enlightenment of plants.
به عنوان مثال ما میتونیم در واقع گلها رو که گل دادن یک گل رو به عنوان مثالی بزنیم از آگاه شدن یک انسان.
Any life form in any realm, mineral, vegetable, animal, or human, can be said to undergo enlightenment. It is, however, an extremely rare occurrence, since it is more than an evolutionary progression. It also implies a discontinuity in its development, a leap to an entirely different level of being, and, most important, a lessening of materiality. What could be heavier and more impenetrable than a rock, the densest of all forms? And yet, some rocks undergo a change in their molecular structure, turn into crystals, and so become transparent to the light.
در واقع اینجا اکهارت میگه که تمام موجودات میتونن دچار پروسه تغییر و تحول بشن، همونطور که انسان میتونه بشه و اون به آگاهی برسه. در واقع آگاهی رو بالاترین مرحله تکامل میدونه و مثال که میزنه از سنگ هست. سنگ با اینکه خیلی سخت و غیر قابل تغییر به نظر میرسه، ولی بعضی سنگ ها هم در دل زمین دچار تغییر و تحول میشن و تبدیل به الماس میشن.
Some carbons, under inconceivable heat and pressure, turn into diamonds, and some heavy minerals into other precious stones. Most crawling reptilians, the most earthbound of all creatures, have remained unchanged for millions of years. Some, however, grew feathers and wings and turned into birds, thus defying the force of gravity that had held them for so long. They didn't become better at crawling or walking, but transcended crawling and walking entirely. Since time immemorial, flowers, crystals, precious stones, and birds have held special significance for the human spirit. Like all life forms, they are, of course, temporary manifestations of the underlying one life, one consciousness. Their special significance and the reason why humans feel such fascination for and affinity with them can be attributed to their ethereal quality. Once there is a certain degree of presence, of still and alert attention in human beings' perceptions, they can sense the divine life essence, the one indwelling consciousness or spirit in every creature, every life form, recognize it as one with their own essence, and so love it as themselves.
در واقع اینجا اکهارت به یکی بودن تمام موجودات زنده اشاره میکنه و میگه که اگر ما آگاه باشیم میتونیم اون جوهره و اصلی تمام موجودات رو پیدا بکنیم و متوجه بشیم که درون ما هم هستش و این یکی بودن جوهره اصلی خودمون و موجودات دیگر رو وقتی که پیدا بکنیم اونا رو قسمتی از خودمون میدونیم و این عشق واقعی هستش که اینجا به وجود میاد.
Until this happens, however, most humans see only the outer forms, unaware of the inner essence, just as they are unaware of their own essence and identify only with their own physical and psychological form. In the case of a flower, a crystal, precious stone, or bird, however, even someone with little or no presence can occasionally sense that there's more there than the mere physical existence of that form, without knowing that this is the reason why he or she is drawn towards it, feels an affinity with it. Because of its ethereal nature, its form obscures the indwelling spirit to a lesser degree than is the case with other life forms. The exception to this are all newborn life forms, babies, puppies, kittens, lambs, and so on. They are fragile, delicate, not yet firmly established in materiality. An innocence, a sweetness and beauty that are not of this world still shine through them. They delight even relatively insensitive humans. So when you are alert and contemplate a flower, crystal, or bird without naming it mentally, it becomes a window for you into the formless. There is an inner opening, however slight, into the realm of spirit. This is why these three enlightened life forms have played such an important part in the evolution of human consciousness since ancient times. Why, for example, the jewel in the lotus flower is a central symbol of Buddhism, and the white bird, the dove, signifies the Holy Spirit in Christianity. They have been preparing the ground for a more profound shift in planetary consciousness that is destined to take place in the human species. This is the spiritual awakening that we are beginning to witness now. The purpose of this book. Is humanity ready for a transformation of consciousness